Yep, that's right. It's another episode of the Giants guys, right? Eli, you know me. We're the Giants guys, and yes, you're getting like what I would say. Thanks for tagging in for another episode, but we're really gonna do something different today. We're bringing back an old episode I used to do called Rant and Rave. It's kind of like I get to say something obnoxious, Eli gets to say something positive because he's Mr. Vibes, right? But after a big win yesterday, we deserve, Eli, do we not deserve something good after a big win yesterday?
Oh, listen, man, we've been starving for this moment, right? I don't care if we're 2-5. We needed a win. And right now, I'm taking it and I'm running with it. Thank goodness for that win. Definitely we needed it.
Without a doubt. So this Rant and Rave is going to be a new piece that we do. It's a chance for you to crow loud and proud about a player you really, really like, a player that, is performing against all odds. Now, on the other side of that rave is a rant. And this is a time set aside for you to come strong. I mean, whatever your opinion is about that player, you come strong. All opinions will be taken and respected. It's a legitimate chance for you to say, how you feel about maybe a certain player that's asleep at the wheel. Is that fair?
Oh, that's perfect, man. I mean, I think I got the rules pretty clear. Hopefully the viewership as well.
Yeah. And if you don't, like I said, you can tag us later and be like, what the hell are you talking about? All right. So my brother from another mother, I'm going to start off with you and allow you to pick Rant or Rave and the player of your choice.
Now I got to be a little strategic here and make sure I pick it right. So,
because I'm going to get you if you're not paying attention.
Oh, of course, man. So I'm going to go with the easy one. I'm going to go with the layup, man. I'm going to go with Daniel Jones, and I'm going to rave about Daniel Jones. Not only that, since Washington, he's been putting this game on his back. The guy has been passing, running. They got even joke now saying he's an RB1, wide receiver 1, QB 1. I guess he'll play edge rusher next week. And maybe he'll play O-line too. Who knows? He'll do some blocking. But Daniel freaking Jones is the franchise quarterback. Over 200 yards yesterday, touchdown, and the new catch that we call the Mr. Daniel Jones OBJ Jr. That his new nickname is. But Daniel Jones is the guy, man. Daniel Jones is nothing short, man. I mean, but a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. I know a lot of people still have the jury out for him. But guess what? This guy is balling and proving you guys wrong each and every game. Shout out Daniel Jones. That is my rave.
Damn. Ooh. That was strong. That was and I like it. I like it. So that means I got to be the bearer of bad news, and I got to be, I got to bring the rant. And my rant.
Listen, good luck, because you're gonna need this one.
Well, I think I rant better than I rave, okay? But I'm completely 100% gonna rant on Lorenzo Carter. I mean, again, nothing to show. Another game where he's hurt. He's out again. This guy had all the potential in the world. We kept saying this coaching staff will get him going. This coaching staff, don't worry, he's gonna bounce back from injury. I want to like the player. I mean, I really do. Like they say, he's a great clubhouse guy. They say he's got a great sense of humor. But Eli, on the field, like when you break down the tape, you can see he never gets containment on the edge. He never uses outside leverage. He's consistently sucked inside. He doesn't make any tackles. Maybe 2, maybe 3 max. Okay. There's no pressure from the outside. I'm almost positive he has maybe 1 QB hit. He's got no sacks. He's got no forced fumbles. I mean, he's just at the bottom of the defensive unit on literally, and he sticks out like a sore thumb because he's supposed to be the guy. And every single week, every single game, every single year, we say the same thing. Man, he's going to break out. He's going to break out. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the game. Oh, here comes Zoe. It doesn't happen, man. Like, and again, I'm not killing the guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, but man, the production's just not there. You know what I mean? Like the production's not there. When I pop on the all 22 and the first thing I see is running backs popping outside and running around him because he's stepping down inside. He doesn't use outside leverage containment. I mean, not to get all into the weeds, but you can see his first step is down inside instead of outside and upfield, where he can turn the running back inside to the inside linebackers and the D tackles. So just from a positioning standpoint, he's out of position. He's always hurt, right? So, and now a little bit of that. He's coming back off that Achilles tendon injury, and you can't help that. I mean, that stuff just, genetics or wrong place, wrong time. But I'm ranting because we're getting beat on the outside on a consistent basis. We don't have any pressure. Leonard Williams can't do it by himself. My rant is completely in the lap of Lorenzo Carter. One, because he doesn't bring it every day. Two, he's not playing the outside where he's pushing it back inside. And three, there's no pressure. This team has zero pass rush. And for a guy that looks like he has all the tools, doesn't fulfill what the Giants need on the outside.
Hey, and I agree with that. To piggyback off it, man, that was perfect rant at that point, man. Zoe Carter just hasn't been it, especially at that position, man. So for sure, I agree with that one. But let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with another.
Toss it right back to you, man. Yeah. Let's keep it rolling with what we got. You want to rant? You want to rave? No, I know you. You're a nice guy, so I got a feeling you might find another rave, but we'll see what happens. Oh,
you know it.
When he gets that close to the camera, I already said you gotta watch out. He's gonna shank you. You gotta get that close.
So listen, of course, I'm gonna go with another slam dunk, man. The other one was a layup with Daniel Jones. This one is a slam dunk for me. In fact, it was more of a 360 windmill, like Vince Carter did in the slam dunk contest. This one is really good.
You going Dr. J?
Oh, listen, I'm going to go with Vince Sanity at the time of the 2000, I believe, slam dunk contest. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewership. Put it in the comments below.
Yeah,
but I will say this.
And I think he made, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the cover of ESPN the magazine during that run myself, if I remember correctly.
Oh, for sure. Listen, man, we all know who Vince Carter is. We all know Vince Sanity at that time. But I'm going to go with the slam dunk Giants played. I'm going to go with Azeez Ojulari. That's who I'm going to rave about next. 2.5 sacks last game. He is balling. The definition of balling. You see his picture, Azeez Ojulari, right there in the section over there. So for sure, Azeez Ojulari, man, the number 2 pick that's supposed to be in the number 1. This guy can ball. Not only 2.5 sacks yesterday, he also got a sack each game, damn near. Also pressures the quarterback very well coming off that edge. This guy has been a spotlight in helping out that defense, especially in the last few games when the defense was just tragic. When Leonard Williams couldn't even get the proper pressure or sacks that's needed. When Dexter Lawrence couldn't even get the proper pressure. We had Azeez Ojulari stepping up. They need to put that man in there 100% of the snaps and just let him run. Go let him do his thing. Shout out to Azeez Ojulari, man. That is my rave. And it's big things to come for him, man, especially at that edge rusher position.
Yeah, and if I could just quick jump on that, I think he had like 47 snaps. There's a lot of room for him to get increased snaps. So love it. That's what I would call hitting the nail right on the head, because that probably would have been where I went. And he's always stealing the money out of your pocket. So so all right, so I'm gonna go with and I don't like to go here because he's kind of new on the team and everything, but like I gotta go rant on Kyle Rudolph. Like I'm like I don't know what's going on. Like I have been defending this cat from day one. I do understand this Liz Frank injury does take some time. I'm not so sure he was going to get in the end zone on that play. You know what I mean? Like his momentum was kind of carrying him out of bounds, but like there's a chicken in the egg. And I don't know if it's that he ain't getting it done, so they're not throwing him the ball, or we're not getting it done, so he's not on the field. I don't really know what it is, but I gotta go rant, because like I'm waiting for this cat to step up, and it's like he's got every opportunity because Ingram is still dropping balls. You know what I mean? Like Ingram still can't block. Okay. And you know what? And it's aggravating because I do think he can help the team, and they don't use him down in the red zone. They finally throw him the ball. He goes out of bounds. I mean, he tries, you know what I mean? I don't know what to make of it, but like, again, if he's on the field, he's either blocking or, again, that Liz Frank injury's giving him no explosion. But I mean, for the money we're paying him, I'm like, I don't know. Like they either need to write him in the offense and get him some hot routes. You know what I mean? Or they need to figure out a way to use him, because he's getting like 5 freaking snaps. You know what I mean? Like he's getting one target a game, like not for that kind of money. And it just makes Gettleman look even worse, because like, I feel like there was a plan. Maybe he would help Ingram. I don't know. Maybe trade Ingram and he'd help Caden Smith. But whatever it is, like Kyle Rudolph's a bust right now. And I don't want 100% ran all over him because maybe it's Garrett not drawing up some plays for him, or maybe he's not the hot route. But overall, the body of work right now, 6 games in, it's really disappointing. And like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I know what he can do, but I don't know, man. I guess if he had made that play, if he had gotten in that end zone or made it, everybody would have been like, all right, he's getting hot. Let's get the ball to him. But he doesn't make the play. So the rock keeps rolling downhill on Kyle Rudolph. I don't got too much where I could go with him because the body of work is just not there. So I'm more about ranting about the body of work than actually the player, because I don't know if it's Garrett or it's him, but I gotta stomp on him a little bit because when he's on the field, he's not making no plays. And the Giants need playmakers, because most of them are on injured reserves. If you're on the field, you got to make plays.
Listen, I agree with that too. And not only that, he looks a whole lot slower than what we used to, right? Like when we looked at Jason Witten when he looked slow during the Cowboys tenure, he was still getting open.
Yeah.
This guy, Kyle Rudolph, looks like he's just slow, doesn't get out of his breaks well. Not only that, man, like you said, he blocks okay. He's not the greatest blocker. He blocks okay, and if it's Kyle Rudolph, the red zone reindeer, he definitely didn't find it or sniffing out as of yet. Definitely nobody's getting Christmas gifts this year.
No.
All right, if he's that guy, if he's the Rudolph or he's the leading. So for sure, man, that's definitely a rant there. I agree with that, man. It's disappointed in Kyle Rudolph signing this far.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, you're back up, dude. What do you got? Why don't you play a little on the dangerous side? Oh, there he goes, man. I gotta watch him. I gotta watch you.
Now, let me tell you this, because I'm this close to the camera, because sometimes there's a vibes, and then sometimes you just have to be honest. All right. So there's a good vibe and there's bad vibes. All right. Now,
we on the Jersey side of the bridge, we call that shank vibes.
Listen, this is about to be shank vibes. That's why I'm getting this close, because the shank is coming. You got to get close to your opponent.
All right. Well, I got a feeling something good's coming.
Listen, man, the rant that I'm going to do, man, is Nate Solder. What a bust from the beginning. Bad contract signing by Dave Gettleman. Let's be honest. Nate Solder was the worst player on New England as far as offensive lineman was concerned. So, yes, it was an upgrade as far as the Giants because we had no one at that time. But Nate Solder, man, should have stayed off and continued to stay off after the COVID pandemic. This guy yesterday, when you watch him in a game, he's blocking one of the players and he's pulling on their shirt, tugging them from the back. And he's pulling their jersey, trying to block them from there. This guy is a waste of money. I don't even know how did he get in the NFL at this point, because a lot of things you question it. But another spot on Dave Gettleman's resume is Nate Solder. What a terrible signing, and what dead money he's going to be at the end of the year as well. And on top of that, man, I just there's nothing good to say. I really don't know what's going on with Nate Solder. I don't know if his heart's not in it or whatever the case is, but right now he is robbing the Giants without a gun at this point. And it's a shame, man, because we actually need that help on the offensive line. But Nate Solder, I definitely want to rant about. That's my opinion on it and my take.
Ooh, it'll be tough to follow up, but I get to bring some flowers and some some light rain and some sunshine. Yeah, exactly. Well, look, this one's kind of easy for me. This my rave is going to be about Dante Pettis, because this guy was on the practice squad 2 weeks ago. Like, he contributed at the end of the season in 2020. We thought we had a downfield burner. We were like, yes. And for whatever reason, I actually shouldn't even say that, the wide receiver room was stacked. You know what I mean? The wide receiver room was stacked. He didn't stand a whole lot of chance because we already knew Ross got paid and he has this, this 4.25 speed. So there wasn't a lot of room for Pettis, but they cut him. He didn't get picked up. They brought him back to waivers, and he's been running with the practice squad guys, right? With Sills and a couple other guys, right? But he has embraced coming up. He has played super hard. He's done everything they've asked him to do. You know what I mean? He had a handful of catches yesterday. He's running hard routes. He's blocking downfield. Look, that touchdown that he had, whether he was in or he wasn't, I mean, he was trying to make a heads up play. It looks like he rolls over on the DB. He has he sticks the ball out. Like, I mean, again, he could have just fell down right there and been down. Mm-hmm. He tried to stretch the ball. But again, I will tell you that I'm almost certain that the play he threw the ball to Jones on would have been Kadarius Toney, because we know Toney is a ex QB, and we know that KT's kind of got that in his DNA. I don't know what Pettis' DNA is from a QB perspective. That's a lot to ask a dude to do, because if he lays his quarterback out and his quarterback gets toasted, we all know right now we be burning down Pettis' house. People be looking, people be driving around North Jersey looking for him, right?
Yeah.
What he does is he sells the fake. He comes in, puts a beautiful touch on the ball, right? A little bit high, but not really, because if you listen to the press conference, Jones says that was the most unathletic route getting out to the ball. He kills himself, right? He self-deprecates himself and basically says, I ran like a crummy, lazy route. But I give Pettis all the credit in the world because he threw a real nice ball. And that's a lot to ask of a dude. Because again, think about where the fine line is. He throws that ball 1 foot further, 6 inches further, Jones may get laid out. Throws that thing a little bit shorter, Jones comes up for it, he may get T-bones. Like, I got to give Pettis a shout out for coming from the practice squad, jumping right back into active duty, running the plays, because you can see some of the plays I don't think he's quite comfortable with. He looks a little off, but he's making catches. He's blocking downfield. And I give him a lot of credit for stepping up into a role, because not every cat wants that responsibility of, you want me to do what? Oh, yeah. I don't know. If I'm the guy that gets the QB killed, I may be looking for a new job by halftime. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
and it's funny, man. Shout out definitely, man. That was a good rave, because he had an awesome game, especially with that pass to Daniel Jones that set up for that new The Catch 2021. So absolutely, man. I agree with that one. That one's awesome.
Yeah, I had to give him that shout out, because I just know that, like, the pressure that must have been on him to make that. Because again, Jones gets laid out, like everything points at Pettis. He's literally running to his car through the parking lot to get out of town.
Absolutely. Listen, I'll tell you this, man, and I'm going to do something a little bit different, because this is a guy everybody was high on, especially during the preseason. But I want to do a little bit of a rant here. And excuse me for a second. But David Seals, man, you had your opportunity and you blew it.
Yeah.
Not only that, the pass was thrown to you, you dropped the ball. Then you get on the sidelines and you spit on your glove and thinking that, yeah, it got to be the gloves. No, my man, you blew it. Yeah. Unfortunately. All right. So when your number is called, you have to step up, man, to that plate and knock that home run out. And right now at this point, David Seals, I can see why he was on the practice squad and he wasn't ready, because during those big lights, unfortunately, you didn't show up, my guy. So I got a rant. Unfortunately, we love you still, but take this as a learning curve. Next time those bright lights and that number is called, you got to go out there and produce all the time, man. Nothing's too big. So, yeah, I'm ranting definitely about David Seals that game. It's terrible.
I said the same thing. I was like, man, like, you got the one pass, it hit you right in the hands, and I'm sure nerves and butterflies, the whole thing. But, he makes that catch during preseason every time.
All the time. All the time. And unfortunately, he blew it, man. And again, you don't know when that number is going to be called. NFL is, stands for not for long, right?
Yep.
So during plays like that, where you have a chance to get a first down or whatever the case is, and you don't come up with that quarterback's not going to trust you, or that coaching staff might not trust you ever again. That was your shot, man. And we all been pulling for you, but you blew it. And I hope you get another opportunity. This isn't to kind of bury you, but this is just to remind you that opportunities comes far and few. You got to execute, my man. Go out there and do your thing. I'm very disappointed, but I hope you bounce back.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. You know what? Maybe nerves got to him, whatever it is. But, like, hey, all right, it's over. If you get another chance, you got to get back on that horse, man, because it's just too hard to come by opportunities, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm in a unique spot right here. All right, well, I'm gonna see if you're up to the task on this one. Ready? Sure. I'm going back with Sunshine. All right, I'm gonna go back with a little Sunshine, because there's another guy that I want to give a shout out to. And I should have pulled it, but I thought you were gonna beat me to the punch. So I
already know where you're going.
You do?
I think I know where you're going. But go ahead, I'll let you continue. I think I know where you're going.
I gotta give a shout out to Pert. Because again, it's big shoes to fill. You know, you're out there on an island. You know, he looked good. He did a good job. And if you look where the Booker touchdown comes from, it's right up that alley, man. Like, he did a really nice job. I'm not saying he was flawless, but I got to give a shout out for a guy. If you think about where he's been, healthy scratch last year, right? Right tackle. Then he's benched. And then he's playing. Then they move him last week. They move him to left tackle on the very first play. He gives up a strip sack, like the very first play. So he could have went in the tank, put his head between his legs, and he could have cried. In fact, and he stepped up. He played a good game. And you know what? I think he needed that. I think he needed to have some adversity. You know what I mean? Because now he's like, kind of like you said with Sills. He's like, all right, you know what? The gloves are off. I got to get this done now, right? So I think it was a really good opportunity for him. And I'm a fan of, I remember in camp when he was throwing Marcus Golden around and we were like, whoa, this cat's got a mean streak in him, right? So, you know, I have to look at his snaps, but I know he had a high grade as I was looking through this morning, real high grade. Really praise the guy's, you know, mental makeup by not going in the tank. Really appreciate, you know, the hard work that he's putting in because he's got to learn right tackle and left tackle. I'm sure there's plenty of old linemen that'll tell you like it's not a big deal. I'm sure you can find plenty of old linemen to tell you it's a huge deal. So as fans, we're never going to quite know. But what we do know is the cat stepped up to the plate, got it done. A lot of those runs on the left-hand side. Look, they ran a RPO 3 times over the left side, you know, where Jones just basically took the ball and went right up the gut off that left side. Booker's touchdown off that left side, you know.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and then, you know, they're getting better at run blocking. It's kind of coming around a little bit, but I got to give, you know, Matt Pert a shout out.
No, I give credit when credit's due. That one was a good game. I give you that. I give credit when credit's due, but they still seem to struggle in that particular area. Pass blocking seems to be their go-to at this point, but that running, man, is just something different. And we're gonna need those hog mollies to kind of open up those running lanes because right now
I think they're just mollies at this point.
Yeah, they're just mollies, man. That's it. You gotta get rid of the hog. It's just mollies, and that falls on Dave Gettleman. Another check mark on that resume. That's terrible.
Yep. Well, what you got? What you got? You got one
listen,
more?
Listen, man. I got a few, but I'm gonna go with this one because I've been giving this guy a whole lot of hell, and I think we all have as a Giants community. And I'm gonna give credit, man, to Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson played a wonderful game yesterday. He's exactly what we thought he could be when we first signed him. And now at the beginning, the first 2 games, he was actually playing pretty good. He's probably the best cornerback on the field at those first 2 games. And then he just hit that rock bottom. But today, or last week's game, or yesterday's game, he actually stepped up and he actually did a damn good job locking down that 2. And much credit to Adoree, man. Like I said, he's exactly turning out the guy that we signed. As long as he's continuing that path, we should be okay in the CB1 and the CB2 spot, especially if Bradbury, of course, is playing a little bit better as well. But we'll go into that. He's coming around. We'll go into that as well. But definitely shout out and raving about Adoree Jackson, man. What a game. Good job, man.
So that puts me in the Rave, the Rant seat. Oh.
Switched it up on you, man. I switched it up.
Yep. All right. Well, this is probably going to be easy. Hernandez. I mean, for the love of God, you got to learn to pick up a stunt. I've been saying this from the beginning is that it's not his physicality. People think like, oh, you don't like the way he's play. He's strong. No, it's got nothing to do with his physicality. It's got nothing to do with his off-season work, his on-season work. He's got one major freaking flaw that I can't understand why. What's the offensive lines coach? I'm drawing a blank. Starts with an S.
Sales. Rob Sales.
Sale. I can't understand it. Why Sale doesn't see it on tape. His head's never on a swivel. He never picks up the stunt. He's always looking in the wrong place. I mean, literally, like from high school, head on a swivel. If nothing's here, bring your head back. It's going to come from here. So, like, if you don't see something, look around. There's someone coming from somewhere. He just can't pick up the stunt or the twist. it's not, again, yeah, he does have a little bit short arms, but if he can get into you, right, he's a big bulldozer, right? But I mean,
Absolutely.
when you see this pressure coming, ripping up the middle, it's usually on a twist and a stunt. It's a copycat league.
I agree.
People are looking at the tape and they're saying 71 cannot pick up the stunt or the twist. We're gonna do it. And Jones just doesn't really get any time. The hole doesn't open up for Booker because, again, it's kind of easy to find when Hernandez is, pass blocking, that if it's not right in front of him, he just doesn't see it. So, again, I think he had a bounce back year. He's had a better year than he did last year, but it's still a flaw that a high level guard in your fourth year should be able to, have better field vision.
And you know what? The funny thing when you brought up Robert Sales, right? When you're looking at offensive line coaching standard perspective, not only that, the ineligible man down the field, how those offensive linemen look, but still manage to go down the field as if the play is continuing forward instead of for just playing their spot, playing to defend. Go chip another guy that's coming in off the edge. Go chip the linebacker that could be coming in through the middle. Instead of for sitting there going down the field and blocking nobody, why don't you go out there and actually teach them how to stay back and defend like the play is called? So an eligible man down the field, we had, I think, 3 or 2 of those in that game. So that's something we have to go back and revisit that as well. I agree with you on that, Rant, man. I got to put that whole offensive line in collective. So you're absolutely right.
They're already handicapped. They're all playing out of position. Some of them shouldn't be, as you alluded to earlier with your rant on Solder. Like, these guys are just, they're handicapped in different ways. But so, like, some of these little things got to be done. Case in point, what you just said. Hey, man, you got to stay in and block somebody. You can't get to the second level because they're going to call it. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they've already said that in 2021, there's more penalties thrown on downfield linemen than ever before.
Which is insane. That's insane to me. But again, that's something that has to be fixed, especially if the game is evolving. And you got to fix it soon because these penalties, it could have hurt us. Trust me, for sure. It's just Sam Darnold did us a huge favor and their defense as well. So, it's just on a good team like a Kansas City rolling in, if you got those penalties, those are going to come back and haunt you towards the end. So absolutely.
Well,
I'll give you this.
I'm gonna give you maybe 1, maybe 2 more. Let's see what you got. Because
I'm gonna give you one more because I know it's wrapping up. So let's give him one more for the viewership. And I'm gonna say this, man, and I'm a rant. I'm a rant for my last one.
Constantly
I'm walking on a tightrope here. So I'm gonna go on a rant on this one. And this rant is, hey, O'Shea Jimenez, welcome to the freaking party. All right. Yesterday, I heard your name called for the first time in 6 games. Is it 6 games now? All right. O'Shea Jimenez, X-Man.
Is that guy on the roster?
He's on. I couldn't believe he was still on the roster. I thought he was warming the bench somewhere or trying on Nike shoes or giving customers Nike shoes in the foot action. All right. I thought he was on the street already. Okay. Listen, welcome to the party. You finally made it to the big leagues, big guy. Can you do it on a consistent basis? I strongly doubt it. I hope this reaches you in good faith, man, to say, hey, I hope you make it. I hope you continue your success. But, man, finally, welcome to the party. Your rushing skills are terrible. Your coverage skills is terrible. Everything you're doing just needs to get better. You're not the guy exactly who we thought. Of course, he was a late-round pick, and I hate to say that. But, O'Shea, get better, man. We finally heard your name. What took you so long? What film did you finally study? Did you listen to Patrick Graham? Did Patrick Graham dial up a better game plan? You tell us, because right now, you're not it, buddy. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it that way, but that's my rant. Back to positivity.
which is hard for me it's hard for me but yesterday was a fun game, and there were some guys that you could still see wanted the ball. And I'm not gonna say I loved this guy's game, but I want to give him a rave because he never quits. His snaps are being cut in half. There's rumors of him being traded. And I watch him with, like, when he has the ability to make plays, he's going to make it. He gives you everything he had. We're talking about Jabril Peppers. Like, absolutely. You know what I mean? I mean, he literally had 27 snaps. I mean, that's like cutting his snaps by 2/3, So I don't know if it's what I would call a shot across the bow, maybe a little bit of warning shot, like, hey, Jabril, get it together. I don't know. He also got a little dinged up yesterday with an ankle injury. But when you saw, I implore you to go out and watch the tape. You watch what happens on his sack. 9 out of 10 of you did not see the cut he took. Okay. He came right up the middle. He got cut at the knees, upended him. His feet were above his head. He's bounced up, blew through the line, almost had the sack, chased him down behind and made the sack. A guy like that is telling you, I'm not quitting. Please don't trade me. I want to be here. Or, I mean, you could also say he's putting good stuff on tape to be traded, but I don't see that. I think last week his name came up in trade rumors or stuff. You could see in the press conference how hurt he was, how disappointed he was, how angry he was. First time I seen him answer no questions. He's always got a smile on his face. That cat's got the best smile on the team. He's got, I mean, like, just when I see him, I smile. I'm like, I love this guy. You know what I mean? So if anything, I got to give a shout out to him because, yes, there are times when he's limited, but it also could be maybe we're just not using him right. I mean, like, again, he's put a lot of muscle on. Maybe he needs to be in the box. Maybe he needs to cover the tight end. I don't know what it is. But let me tell you, we brought a guy in here for the 2007 Super Bowl named by Deion Grant. He was a safety that they brought down. He came from Seattle. They brought him down in the box, and he was awesome. You know what I mean? Like don't give up on Jabril Peppers. You can see he's not giving up. You know what I'm saying? He's giving you everything. He could have, and I bet Jimenez, Carter, if they had gotten cut at the knees, they would have laid on the ground. They would have never. I mean, the dude got upended, flipped over. His head was down. His legs were up. He got up, bounced through the line, chased Darnold down from behind. Darnold had a good 5 yards on him, closed, sack from behind. That's the kind of player you want. I'm shouting out to Jabril. I'm hoping he stays, and I'm hoping that Graham, for the love of God, my friend, figure out how to use him because he's showing you that he wants to play. He wants to bring it. If you're not using him correctly, and that's what it feels like, find a way to use this guy. I don't care if he plays middle linebacker, outside linebacker, box safety, but they need a cat like that in the locker room. That's why everybody says he's got the best sense of humor. He's the most infectious guy to be around. And I get it. He's got to perform, and I'm sure he's had some not great games, but I don't know. Like I like the character. I like the heart. You can see what he can do. They need to find a better way to use him.
You know what? I'm gonna piggyback that and say the same thing, man. He's one of my favorites. You know, as far as Giants is concerned, like you say, he's infectious. You know, the guy can bring a locker room together. The guy's a leader, a natural born leader at that. Played a hell of a game, man, yesterday. You know, and the fact that everybody's like, oh, he's not good, go trade him, go there. Like, it's just hard to find those locker room guys just for an organization to keep everybody together. He's the glue, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they need to find ways to utilize him better. Now, is he a safety or a strong safety at this point? Probably not. But can he play it down in that box and help stop that run at this particular point or put pressure on the quarterback? We've seen it. We've seen what he can do when they actually put him in that situation.
Yeah.
Why not continue that success? And this is more a testament to Patrick Graham. You got to figure out how to utilize your players better. And Jabril Peppers need to be on that field, that field, contributing the best way he can. So I agree with you on that, Rave, man. Like, you know, we got to figure out how we're going to keep, you know, him involved because he's an energy guy. If you keep him going, he's going to keep that motor going for you. If you believe in him, he's going to keep going for you. And that's that type of guy he is.
We all saw last week Cooper Kupp running down the sidelines and two Giants jogging behind them. Their names will remain nameless for this conversation, but we all know who they were, jogging behind Cooper Kupp as he's running, you know, in the end zone. Peppers doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, so if you got the heart, we know he's talented. Just figure out how to use him. Nobody's 100% healthy. But you know what? He wants to make plays, and you cut his snaps down so far that I don't, you know, like just it's hard to see him get phased out. And I'm hoping it's not a thing. I'm hoping it's maybe week by week, and maybe it's strategic. But if you pull up on the film, I mean, the guy just plays. So that's kind of my rave on Peppers because, like you said, he's the glue. Everybody digs him, and I know he gives 100% every game.
I agree. Definitely
right.
no issues in that. That was great.
Bonus round.
Oh, let's do it.
Bonus round. I'm going to give you 3 coaches, and I'm going to give you Judge,
Okay.
Garrett,
Okay.
Graham.
Okay.
You get to pick one, and then we'll flip it over on the other side. So I'll take one. You take one.
All right. And we got to do rant and rave on them, correct? Is that
Yep.
that might? All right.
Yep. Whatever you put it this way, you choose the coach, you choose the rant and rave. I will choose the same person, and I'll go the other way.
All right. So you know what? This is what I'll do. I'll take Jason Garrett first, and I'm going to pick the rave part of it. Oh, now let's see if I can sell the viewers on this. Listen, as far as the first, let's take a look at game 2. You know, when you go down to Washington and he finally starts to listen to what we saying, the casual fans of running the RPO, running read options, and Daniel Jones does his things, we lose that game. After that, we have New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Finally called a decent game plan. It wasn't the best, but it was decent enough for us to get that win, especially with Saquon running for a touchdown from that pass from Daniel Jones, and also running it in as well. And then after that, we have give me the next game. Forgive me because they're slipping on my head.
Dallas.
We have Dallas, probably worst play call ever. And the reason why I probably had the worst play call ever is because everybody went down with injuries. Every last single Giant was actually down with injuries that game. So, of course, you got to go back to the basics because these guys didn't practice. And then on top of that, you had your redemption game, right? The game yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong.
Rams last week.
We had the Rams, even worse. Kadarius Toney goes down. And that's pretty much it, is all she wrote. So your number one best receiver is out, along with your other starters is gone. Of course, you got to go to the original game plan. So now you have yesterday's game where he actually has time to practice and groom these guys that were sitting on the bench, like a David Sears, like a Pettis. And then Darius Slayton comes back in, which, again, guys, we all know he's a floor. You know, so he still came in and they got the job done with the help of Daniel Jones being everything under the sun. He utilized the weapons behind him. That's called game planning. That's called exactly the perfect play calls in order to get your best guy to have the ball in his hands. And the best guy on that field right now as we speak on the offensive side is Daniel freaking Jones until we get the people back. So shout out to Jason Garrett, man, for actually calling those plays and keeping Daniel Jones involved in order to improve the offense to actually win this game that they were supposed to lose, in my opinion. So I'm going to rave about Jason Garrett. He's finally starting to utilize the people around him. And hopefully the more, you know, when we get healthier, he'll actually have a game plan a little bit better as well. And it all evolves around Daniel Jones. Let's remember
that. I think there's something in the water at Eli's house. All right, so
I'm giving credit.
No. All right. This is a no-brainer for me, and it won't be long. This guy sucks. Okay.
Talk to me.
Like when he does well, it's not he did well. It's about freaking time. That's the problem. Is like this guy's been doing it for 2 years. So then he what's the comment? A squirrel finds a nut. Come on, give me a break, dude. We go week in, week out with guys not being used, underused, overused. We're on the goal line, and he ran the ball up the gut 2 times with the backup running back. I mean, we have a tight end who's got 41 touchdowns. I got another tight end that never drops shit who can't get off the bench. And what do? We run the ball up the gut with Booker 2 times. This guy's freaking clueless. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 tight ends. One of them can't catch. We leave him in all the time. We got another one that we paying $1 million for with 41 touchdowns, and all he has to show for it is a 2-point conversion. And then the best tight end we have can't get on the field with 0 targets yesterday. It makes no sense. If you don't have Tony and you don't have Galladay and you don't have Shepard and you're dependent on Pettis and Slayton, maybe I should try the tight end. Maybe he utilizes, and this is the cat who had Jason Witten for 15 freaking years. We don't use the tight end. On top of the fact, we ran a freaking Oklahoma option yesterday in the middle of the game. Why not run that at the end zone? Roll the freaking quarterback out. Dude, like, this guy's clueless. I'm telling you, I think what he does is he takes a hat, okay? Look. He puts the games in a bowl, and he picks out what game he's going to coach and what one he's going to crap the bed on. That's how I think this works. Because like you can't bomb one week and then be like, well, I'm going to work this week. No, I'm sorry, man. You're an offensive coordinator. This is the New York Giants. We have more offensive weapons than we know what to do with, and none of them do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's like, and what kills me is he has this like little cheat sheet somewhere. He's like, oh shit, I'm shitting the bed. Let me pull out one of these magic plays. And everyone's like, oh, and they're high-fiving and going crazy. And then he bombs like the next 8 plays, and he's like, oh, gonna throw the ball to Daniel Jones. I mean, come on, man. The best offensive coordinators do this. They take you out every single play.
I agree.
We were playing for field goals at the end of the game. We were playing for field goals. You need an OC that goes, I got this. I'm taking this guy out. You win 40-0. That's what you do. That's what real offensive coordinators do. I watched Nick Saban over the weekend. He scored 55 points. He's like, I think I can need another touchdown. This guy's like, we got 1 touchdown.
I agree.
Let's not do anything more. Heck with this dude. Seriously, the guy's a Princeton boy. He's dumb as a rock.
Listen, on that note, that was great. On that note, that was great.
I need
it's all up to you.
Now.
I see, man. He was breaking a sweat. The curl was flying back and forth. He was hyping it up, man. I wish I had your hair, man. I'm baldy locks over here. So
I told you, it's the only redeeming quality I have left. Yeah. All right.
Look, that was great, man.
All right, brother. So now you got a choice between Graham and Judge. Wait, if you're sweating it, I can take it if you want me to go. But I might need a little bit of break because I worked up a sweat.
No, take a break because I actually think I'm gonna go with this one because I don't know how you're gonna come up with the rave part on this, but I'm gonna take Patrick Graham.
He just threw me in a 6-foot hole.
Patrick Graham. I did. And the reason why is that because it's all about me, right?
You know what though?
I'm totally kidding.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So Patrick Graham, we're gonna rant on, and this is how I'm gonna do it. It's about time you formed a game plan where the defense can actually shut something down. But is it more of the game plan, or is it because the offense is really terrible? So I'm going to go with that. The offense was probably just a little bit terrible on the Carolina side of the ball. Sam Darnold isn't a freaking franchise quarterback. Let's be honest with you. Even though you did make Teddy Bridgewater look like one, even though you did make Taylor Heineke look like one, man, you stopped Jameis Winston. I was actually shocked with that. But you actually called a competent game play to where you could leave him on 3 and pressure a young quarterback. I just want to know what took you so long of doing it to Teddy Bridgewater and Heineke. I'm just trying to figure this out still. Because, again, this is what you should do when you have inexperienced or non-franchise quarterback in the NFL. You pressure them. Well, guess what? You finally got pressure, too, because the freaking pass rush wasn't there until yesterday as well. Finally, 6 sacks on the game. And we all sitting here applauding Leonard Williams. Shout out to you, Leonard Williams. Yes, you've been playing above the X's and O's these past 3 games only. I'm not giving you credit for all 7. I'm sorry. So with that being said, brother, Patrick Graham, if you could keep the consistency, because that's the only way you should keep your job. And as far as Black Picasso, Black graffiti artist, maybe, I wouldn't even say that because that's an insult to them. You're more of a black stick figure. You just know how to draw things pretty well when it's time. All right. So definitely ranting on Patrick Graham. Do better. And yes, this was your coming out party. Finally. Welcome to the show. You're in the same class with O'Shea Zimenez.
You said right? Black stick figure.
He's a black stick figure. That's it. He just draws he can't even draw a mailman with that. Like he's just stick figure and is missing an arm. Like what are we doing? All right, get better. That's exactly. Look at you got it. Like everybody draws a stick figure and misses an arm. That's freaking Patrick Graham.
If you watch this, I want you to in the comments. I want you to let me know if you'll buy a T-shirt with a 1-arm stick figure because I am going to make up. I am going to make up T-shirts that say Black Picasso, but the word Picasso crossed out, and then the bottom says Stick Man under it.
Stick figures. That's stick man. That's it.
And he'll only have look. He'll only have 1 arm. I am, dude. we have just broken new grounds. We are so, no one steal my idea. Go down in the comments and tell me if you guys want black stick figure t-shirts, because that's the funniest freaking thing I have ever heard.
Hey man, it's the truth. And you know what? I worked up a sweat talking about that. That's how much I'm upset about this Black Picasso. I can't believe he earned that name. I'm like, you guys really call? Like, I just figured out recently he was Black Picasso. I'm like, where? Like, he's not drawing up anything but stick figures. Welcome to the party, Patrick Graham. You finally made it to the step up. You have a whole flight still. Can you make it? I think not. But anyway, that's another story.
I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Might be outside, and Pilgrim will support me on this one. Outside of the truth, asking me about Jim Finn's wife. It's a long story. It's an old podcast we had about these superheroes. Don't worry about it. Another story. All right.
Gotcha.
So I gotta give you.
Hey, if it's an old podcast and it's on YouTube, please guys check it out. I'm sure it's a great one. Please check it out and refer back to this video. This way you can match it together.
You got to look for the one about Jim Finn's wife, the old fullback for the Giants' wife. She works on the Disney Channel, and I don't know. And the truth just
Thunderman.
Yeah, it revolves around Mrs. Thunderman.
Gotcha.
She's a very attractive woman, and I don't know. And Truth just wants to know what her last name is, and it just spiraled out of control because I was like, wow, Mrs. Thunderman. Like, what else could her name be? Anyway, all right. So I got black stick man. I'm like,
Black stick man.
I'm like hoping I don't get. I hope I don't get yelled at, or I don't get in trouble for saying that. I want you to know.
They know where it's from. It's from me, guys.
I'm just laughing because he's making it funny. I mean, because look, he said he has one arm. Look,
that's it. And he drew. Everyone draws a stick figure missing an arm. That's what he is. And just so happened you did it, and it's hilarious.
All right, so I gotta somehow end this note on a positive note with Patrick Graham. So I'm gonna do a little bit of what we call fishing here. Okay, so last week he said he was going to simplify the defense, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to give him a little bit of now. Actually, if you want to know the truth, he said he was going to simplify the defense before the Ram game, and they melted down. However, I'm hoping that maybe that simplification took a little bit longer to take because they did look better. Like there was more activity around the line. So if he is making the defense simpler.
Now let me, if you don't mind me saying this, isn't that fitting a square into a round hole if you didn't make it simple to your guys in the beginning? But go ahead. That's just Joe Judge. We didn't pick him, so go ahead. You can keep going.
Killing me.
A little dig.
Killing me over there. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually going to say that he probably always had a square hole, and he tried to put a round peg in it, and then got half. I was like, crap, I probably should have just started with the square peg, because I don't know about, what the one less preseason game, a lot of new bodies. I don't know what the real deal is. It sounds like I'm making excuses for the guy. I'm not overly happy with him either, but I got stuck with the Rave. So my first thing is that he made the defense more simple this week. There was more activity. Leonard Williams had a better game. He also was smart enough to start Ojulari right from the get-go. Like, this guy could have been on the bench, you know what I mean? Because he's a rookie. Right away, Patrick Graham's like, man, this guy can bend at the waist like it's nobody's business. He's got good hand play and a great motor. So I applaud the fact that he's increasing his snaps. But, hey, Patrick, you might want to increase them a little bit more. The kid can play. I credit him for whatever he's doing with Adoree Jackson, because I thought Adoree Jackson was like, and to me, he's a borderline bum up until the last couple of weeks. He's kind of coming around. Like the last 4 weeks, he's like, week one, I was like, okay, he's settling in. He had like 4 really bad weeks. So maybe Graham, told him that, hey, look, let's simplify this. Let's get out of your own head. Like these guys, Bradbury's slowly kind of coming back. He's got 3-4 picks now. Like there is progress. Remember, he is without the captain. I mean, when you lose Blake Martinez, you really handicap regardless of what you do. You know what I mean? Like you just, regardless. They bring in a couple new bodies. He's playing. Look, I applaud him. we're playing Austin Jackson. That guy can play. I mean, like, you know, like I don't know his backstory. I probably should, but I don't. But like, I think they realized that Danny Shelton was not the answer. And he's got these guys up front playing a lot better. They're more nimble. They're moving, you know? So I applaud him for that. I applaud him for giving Ojulari more snaps. He needs more snaps. So all I can say overall is he's definitely, it looks like he's a slow learner, you know, or maybe he's not adapting fast enough, but I don't know. Maybe some guys don't adapt at all. I mean, like, so I'm hoping he's getting out of his head, trying new things. It's definitely hard to defend Patrick Graham at this point, having the 9th ranked defense and dropping to the 28th ranked defense. You know, and I'm sure our turnover differential is pretty low. So, yeah. You know, but I'm applauding him on a couple key moves he made. I know I'm not doing a great job right now, but that's all I got. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
You know, as some would say, quit while you're ahead. You know, this is.
I was actually going to just go like this, and then I was going to show you this, and I was going to call it a day. But I thought I would be doing you people a disservice if I didn't just try.
Fight, Craig. Fight. Listen, I think that was perfect, man. I mean, there's really nothing to, besides the last game, there's really nothing to say, okay, well, he did his thing there. And I'm trying to find the Rave spots and help you along here as well. It's just yesterday you have to say, yeah, that was the game. That was their coming out game. Or the New Orleans, that was their coming out game. And it was more of yesterday in the New Orleans that they actually came out and finally got 6 sacks for us. And you know, and the secondary played pretty damn good too. So, you know, whatever he's doing, he has to continue that success. And I will believe him a little bit more in about another 2 games in. And hopefully it's the same results, and we shall see. So
we got a banged up Patrick Mahomes. Yep. He's turning the ball over, he's fumbling, he's taking hits. So there is a little what's the word, like a little bit of weak link in the fence somewhere at the Kansas City home front. So even if they can't pull it off, I'm sure, you know, they have the ability to make it a little bit more competitive, because it seems like the Giants might, I don't want to say they're turning the corner, but at least they're hanging out on the corner. I don't know what they're doing on the corner, but at least they made it to the corner. They're not in the alleyway anymore. You know I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
We've been stuck in the alleyway for most of the season. At least we kind of crept up to the corner now. So
we finally said, "Oh, there is a corner."
Exactly. Yeah, we haven't.
Let's see if they actually make the turn now. They're looking at the street sign and the corner.
It might take a whole lot. It might take a whole lot to actually turn that corner, but at least I'm on the corner. Okay. And then back in the day when the boys were on the corner, like that was something. That was something you aimed for. All right, so one thing I'll leave you guys with is something that's come up today. We'll end the show. This is the Rant and Rave. Thanks for tagging in for another episode of the Giants Guys. A little impromptu for me and Eli. We're coming up with some new ideas for you guys. Tomorrow, we got Paul Dottino coming on. And, of course, we got Dan Orlovsky coming on Thursday, which is huge because it's going to be short and sweet, but he's going to tell you how it is, and he's going to tell you what he's thinking. XQB, you know him from ESPN. We're going to kind of chew it up, you know, and chop it up and see what he's got for us. So it's an exciting week for us. I do just want to quickly mention, and I'll let you close it out, Eli. If you had a new GM next year, same head coach, same quarterback, and his entire existence was about getting 2 new offensive linemen and a pass rush. And if he could figure out either free agency, trade, or draft, if he could plug that in, if this team is healthy, which they have not been all year, but if this team is healthy and a new GM can literally say, I'll get you 2 new offensive linemen and a badass pass rusher, is this team not way closer than we think? Because right now it feels like this team is bad for 2 reasons. There ain't no pass rush. And our offensive line stinks, especially like when Gates went down.
You know what? I agree. And a lot of people will probably look at this video and be like, well, then keep Dave Gettleman, right? But the reason why I say don't keep him, because he neglected those positions. Of course not. Yeah, I'm just saying like overall what people will say, because just by you setting that up, could give people go, well, why not keep him? He can address that next year.
No,
No,
he can't.
he can't. He had to address that 4 years ago. His thing was hog mollies, right? He didn't bring in any offensive linemen. In fact, it's a carousel. Everybody comes in and out when need be, unfortunately, due to injuries. But it was like that anyway, right? The edge rushing, the defensive line, Leonard Williams was the only bright spot on that particular line, and that was last year. So again, he hasn't fulfilled the job duties that he needed to fulfill in order to get this team where it needed to be, because it's still suffering in those positions. Yes, he got a running back. Yes, he got a wide receiver, which he tried with Golden Tate and it didn't work. Yes, he improved the linebacker position, but it still ain't the same. It still ain't the same. He improved the cornerback position, but it still ain't the same. He improved the safety position by having Jabril. Still ain't the same, right? So again, he missed on a lot of different things. And to be honest with you, we have to go with a different GM. However, this team on paper versus many years ago is improved. The roster is better. So you have to give him credit on that. However, the coaching has been abysmal this year. It's been terrible. They get it together one game, lose it the next. It's like it seems like all the things they say about Joe Judge could come to fruition, because when you meet somebody that is cocky or someone that is into themselves, that one game they'll be like, oh, I'm the man again. And then they shut it off and they'll lose and the whole world blows up until they get it right again, right? So he might have that in him. He just might. And again, that's just me throwing rocks and or throwing whatever to try to paint a picture. But then, guys, listen, you have to go and clean house. If you're going to get rid of the general manager, you have to get rid of the head coach, I think, because it falls both on them. And right now, this is the same almost record Pat Shermer had before he lost his job in 2 years, right?
Yep.
So, yes, we have a whole lot more games left, but if you're going to blow this thing up, blow it up. And that is, unfortunately, Daniel Jones as well being on the chopping block. I don't think so. I don't think he should go anywhere, because I think he can bring us to the promised land. But at the same time, we have to go with it in order to try to get this franchise back where it needs to be.
Yep.
So blow this thing up, start with the GM and head coach. Both got to go. And I like Joe Judge, but no.
I struggle with it because I look at, like, listen, Gettleman's got to go. He's not nimble enough. He's overpaying guys. Just you need youth. You need someone that can react fast, recognize talent. Has good relationships in the league. You know what I mean? Like, just someone that's more nimble, someone who's literally making better scouting decisions with his group. But it sucks because if you do clean house, you're talking about 3 years to be good, and you don't even know at 3 years if you'll be good. That's the key that everybody forgets, is this. No, we'll be back. Listen, it takes 3 years to build a team.
Yeah.
But what happens in 3 years if you're not good again? See, right now, to me, like, there's a lot of things that are wrong. If I had a new offensive coordinator, and I know people are going to go crazy when I say this, but if I had a new offensive coordinator, a young offensive nerd that just eats and sleeps his stuff, okay? And I had a new GM to get you those pieces, I feel like it's closer. Because look, Galladay, he don't play. Gates goes down, right? Thomas, he's out. Tony is out. Like, everything that you could possibly need is on injured reserve, So, like, if you had, and again, I'm not defending anyone, I'm just saying, but if I had a slam dunk guard or a slam dunk center, right? And everybody else came back, and I had a slam dunk pass, pass rusher. Like right now, if I had Quentin Nelson and TJ Watt, would everybody be happy? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right. So again, I know I'm kind of like, I'm looking for Santa Claus to bring me something, but I'm like, couldn't a GM be like, look, we'll get to the promised land a lot quicker if I keep Judge and Jones than blowing this all up. Because, again, I don't know. Like, I'm sure the ego gets involved and they want to do their thing. You know what I mean? But then we're all signing on for 3 years. And at that 3 years, you still might not have the right guy and you start all over again. Like, I feel it's closer. The reason why it's so far is because Garrett's inept and everyone's on injury reserve. And then this guy, he has to, he's got to figure it out. I guess what I'm trying to say is right now, if you got Quentin Nelson and TJ Watt or whoever you want to plug and play there, this team is way, way closer to winning the division. but you don't have those guys. So do we start over because we need 2 guys, or is everybody saying no? We need more than 2 guys. That's the question, I guess, is what I'm putting out there. Because for me, I need 3 guys. I think the DBs can live. I think the receivers are studs. I think that, the linebacking core is going to just get better because you got Aziz and you got Blake's coming back, right? I think you really can't get around having no pass rusher, and you can't really get around the guards in the center. So I'm just wondering if in a perfect world, if I had a different guard center out and a pass rusher, like, are we talking about right now 4 wins, right? We take home that Atlanta and that Washington game, and nobody's complaining.
No, you got a point. You got a point. No, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, in this particular, before everybody went down with injuries, they could have won that Atlanta game. They could have won that Washington game. They could have. It's just the coaching staff was, unfortunately, didn't pan out.
They're playing not to lose instead of playing to win by kicking field goals and not going for it. Well, this is another episode of the Giants Guys. Thanks for tagging in. I'm gonna promote produce it up, pop it online. It's new. We're going to probably try to do this every week, every other week, Rant and Rave. I definitely think Eli won this match because he threw all the hard ones at me. So it's always a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch up with you guys soon. Peace.